Welcome to the next edition of the Feed Pod. How are we? This one's exciting, really exciting. We've got someone with us who's been a collaborator on every, or at least the last 4, I think, Feed Mags. I'm really excited to welcome them. I think I'm now an honorary member of the Authentic Girls Club. So welcome to Charlotte and Kat. Thank you for joining me on the Feed Pod.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us, Ross.
It's exciting, this one. We've just been having a quick chat in the green room before we come through. And yeah, there's probably going to be a lot of things to say. Stones to unturned, closets to open. Is that the right? No, that's maybe not. But yeah, really excited to have you. Oh, and first off, before we get into anything, thanks for the collaboration with the magazine. I think it's been going really well. Yeah. Love when you guys send it over, and I think the titles Learn and Growth and Adapt, they sit really well with you, don't they? Yeah. So we've just been talking about that, and obviously Learns will be out by the time this podcast goes out. And then we'll be on to, I think Manifest is going to be our next one. Or Growth or Manifest.
Both are bad.
Yeah. So start thinking ahead for the next Feed Mag. So I think a really nice place to start off. Friendship, obviously West Midlands, Nantwich. Where did it come from? Where's the Authentic Girls born from? What drove that? So let's dive right into it and understand who you are.
Okay, amazing. Yeah. So we did not obviously know each other, and we landed in an online space. So I, at the time, was a stay-at-home mum. I just started building an Instagram just to give me something to do that wasn't looking after children. So I was feeling a little bit like I need something.
Which has done all right, which we'll touch on.
Yeah. So, started building that. And then I was like, there's just this fire in me that this isn't it for me. And I sat in that for a long while of kind of frustration and kind of moving a few steps and then going backwards, moving a few steps and going backwards. And I couldn't quite break free of that dance that I was in. And then came... an incredible lady, Carrie Green, and she was kind of the face for me to go, I think what I'm feeling inside is possible.
Right.
And I had so many dreams, I had so many ideas, but I was dulling them down like I'm naive, like this is ridiculous, this is silly. So for me, the shift came in joining her membership, actually.
Right.
And it was a business networking group for women, wasn't it? I just got a little seed of an idea. I did not have an idea. And I found myself on this online call, networking call with tons of business women.
For the lady Carrie Green's group, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So there was hundreds of us in this networking space. And then she said to us, right, we're going to put you all into little breakout rooms.
Oh, no.
And you're going to pitch your business idea and you're going to receive feedback. And literally,
I'd have hung up. I'd have left. I've lost connection. I'm out, yeah.
Yeah, I was hovering over the end now button. But you know what? Something made me stay. And I just thought, what's the worst that can happen if I just be honest and actually say, I've got a seed of an idea. I don't have a clue what I'm doing, but I'm here to learn. And I landed in that breakout room. I said exactly that. And who was on the other side?
Wow. How long ago was this?
Feeling the same thing as well.
When was this? This was 2021.
January 21.
Right, okay. Wow.
Yeah. So, and you kind of have a little bit of a different story when you kind of had success in business.
Yeah, so I'd kind of hit a point in life where I had plateaued, should we say. Growth had stopped. I still am in the hospitality industry, have been for nearly 2 decades.
Wow.
And I'd hit a point in life where I'd opened cafes, restaurants, sold, scaled businesses, and both of my girls had gone off to school. I'd made intentionally myself redundant from my restaurants, and what I mean by that is that I still have them, but I don't work in them.
Nice, okay, yep.
So they give me the financial freedom and time to kind of do what I want, essentially, which is amazing. That's the dream, right?
Yep.
And it was great. But I got to a point where I was really grateful, was really proud, but I felt so deeply unfulfilled. And that was a big battle for me for some time, because it was like, well, I should just be happy with what I've created. I should just stay in
that's what the narrative tells you. That's what the narrative tells you. You should appreciate what you've done.
Appreciate what I've got. And it wasn't that I wasn't grateful, but I just knew, similar to Charlotte, that there was more inside of me. And what I actually wanted to do was take my years of experience and everything that I created and share that with women and show them, actually, when you back yourself, when you believe in yourself wholeheartedly, anything's possible. So I stuck myself in this breakout room. I was like, right, I need to do.
So just the two of you then that go into this, or there's a few more?
That's it. Four,
Yeah,
something
four,
like that.
yeah,
A small number.
Okay.
And I can only describe where I was at as in like a dog chasing its tail. Just kind of, I don't know what it is I want to do. I have no idea. But I know I want to do something. So I was like, well, just do something. Join this networking call. Got into the breakout room. And we met, and we kind of, again, I was just like, I have no business idea, but I'm showing up here authentically, just telling you what's going on in my life. I'm going to build something, but I don't know what it looks like yet. We didn't actually connect on that call, did we? In terms of like, we didn't exchange details.
Right.
Went away. The following month, same networking call, back on it, and I saw Charlotte. This sounds a bit stalkery now. I saw Charlotte.
She's the one for me.
Yeah. I was like, right, I've got her on my radar. But again, probably 80 to 100 women on this call. And it's just a random selection to get into these breakout rooms. It's like, come on.
Is this Carrie Green thing still a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So shout out Carrie Green. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you
100%.
very much. Yeah.
And I was like, come on, universe, put me in a room with Charlotte. I can see you. And it just delivered. And we were in the same breakout room again. And that's how we did exchange details. And yeah, you said this beautiful story that I became we were each other's accountability coaches.
Okay.
While we were figuring it out. And Charlotte says I was her whisper. I believed in her until she was ready to believe in herself.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. And you sat with me. You sat with me in the moments where I didn't believe and where I was like, I just don't know what to do here. And it was just, you just kind of saw a different side of me. Obviously, like family and friends support me and support what I do, but it was just this different connection of, feeling really seen in those bigger ideas and those bigger things that were inside of me, which, was a really beautiful space.
And that's what we now get to do for women that come into our world. Believe in them until they're ready to believe in themselves, that's what drives us.
Just going back to that and the needing to be seen and how Kat supported you, what do you think maybe made you feel like that at the time? And we've touched on this loads and we've mentioned it and we just mentioned it before we came, before we started recording. Is that imposter syndrome? What was that? What was maybe causing you to feel that? Have you identified that yet, or is that still something that exists? Or
I think it was me putting myself down, thinking that my ideas weren't good enough. And I think I voiced them to Kat and she was like, wow.
How can you feel like this?
Yeah. And it was so raw and authentic, like in that way, that I'm like, I think knowing that you dreamed big once upon a time and made those dreams a reality, you were also kind of a really big inspiration to go, this is possible. Like it might just be like, I can do this. And it just started to, I think at first I had to think that it was possible, and then I had to believe that I was capable. And I kind of just to fast forward a little bit, I did start the Authentic Girls Club on my own, which I think was needed for my confidence personally. And then I proposed to you, didn't I?
Finally. I was like a bad smell you couldn't get rid of.
When's the big day?
I think that was 6
To be
months
confirmed.
in, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll cover that. We'll do the consent for that.
Yeah.
But after that first call that I did, so it was the membership that I set up first.
Yeah.
I did this first call. I think there was 5 or 6 ladies on there, and it was incredible. But I woke up the next day and felt like I'd been hit by a bus of self-doubt. And literally, I was like, whoa, like, how am I going to tip up?
And this is pre-Kat.
This is pre-Kat.
Yeah.
I was like, how am I going to continue to do this? Like, was I good enough to hold that space last night? Like, the results were there. Like, literally every woman messaged me and was like, I need.
But just massively
so
overcritical
much.
of yourself. Yeah,
like literally, and it just hit me in the morning, and I think that then really set me on a journey to believing that I was enough. So not just it was enough, but believing that I was enough to do it as well.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of twofold, isn't it?
Such a tough thing. And again, we talked about it just before we came into the room. I had exactly the same feeling this morning. Is this right? Should I be doing it? Even to the point that for a split second, I'll cancel today. Just say I can't do it. Cancel everything. Cancel the festival where we launched the magazine. Just step away. Like, what on earth? Like, why is that even in my mind? Only for a split second. Yeah. But it happens. And I think we're talking about the critical voice, and we'll touch on that in a second. But yeah, I think that valuing yourself, maybe for me, it's imposter syndrome. Certainly thinking, what am I doing? No one's going to want to hear what I've got to say. No one's going to read my magazine and the rest of it. But maybe that's not the case. So there we go. Touching on the Authentic Girls Club now then. So it was created. We've met Kat. then we start to deliver what the Authentic Girls Club is. So elevator pitch. What is it? Who are we? What do we want to see? You've got your one honorary male member, but what is the Authentic Girls Club?
Go.
I'll go. It's definitely evolved. It started as a space to bring women together to grow. And that was literally it. It was to have those real, raw, authentic conversations. And it's been a really big personal growth journey for both of us, I think, hasn't it? And now today is a life and business coaching membership for women. And it's that space for them to land in the moments of doubt, but also land and be celebrated and celebrate themselves along their journey. Like, we believe that the inner work is the foundation for everything. And we will probably touch on this, but like thoughts and beliefs, they drive us. They drive how we feel. They drive how we act. They drive the results that we get. And we've got to go back to those roots. So it's almost kind of that space for you to become who you need so that you can achieve all that you want to achieve.
And removing the blockers that are there in order for you to do that. I think we touched on it, Kat, last time we met. You said about a new member that you'd had. And I think she jumped on that early morning call. And I think I've told a lot of people that I've met that she went to London.
Yes.
I can't quite. And she went for a meal or something that she would never have done that.
She just fast tracked within was it in less than a week or something, or less than a couple of weeks, was it, or 10 days, something like that.
She joined. She doubted joining, wasn't she? I think she was doubting joining, and then she joined, and then there was the success story on the back of it.
It was Sunday. She found us on TikTok.
Yes.
Monday she joined us Monday morning for a 6 a.m. call, and it was the Wednesday she took herself off to London, which she would do all the time for work. And normally she said to us like she'd have a McDonald's and she'd sit in a hotel
sit in the room,
and wouldn't go out. And she found herself, it brings such a smile to my face, on the second row of a theatre.
Oh, that was it, the theatre. Yeah, that was it. Sorry.
Covered in yellow confetti, but on her own. Like, she just took herself to where she wanted to go and made that happen for herself. And that was 3 days, 4 days?
And just from the call and felt completely empowered, I guess. And do you know what? That's maybe a difficult place for me to talk from, or from my experience, because we're talking about women and ladies and people that feel that. And I guess, again, not necessarily knowing it, but that kind of working and being out on your own, and there is the safety element of it, and there is if you maybe sat in the lobby of the reception, who's going to talk to you, what their intentions, and I guess there's a big part of that as well within the support network of the group. As I say, difficult one for me to sit here and talk about, but I'm sure that's something that your members crave, maybe.
Yeah, and I think for this member in particular, it was really rooted in that. Wow, I can. I think it was that shift from I can't to I can.
Yeah,
and that self-empowerment and that confidence. Like, it skyrocketed in 2-3 days.
Yeah.
And just going, actually, well, if I get out my own way, I would love to go to the theatre on my own. I would love to sit on the second row. I would love to just experience that rather than just kind of keeping myself small in my hotel room. And she just stepped out of that comfort zone and into that growth and just proved to herself that she could. And I think that was the core behind her just going for it and going, actually, it's only me that's holding myself back.
It's amazing, isn't it? And just off the back of that call, something that she's been able to do. Still a member now, obviously, however many months later.
Every week, she's like...
She just
a new story.
Blows us away, and it's that Monday morning call. We guide our ladies through our self-coaching method.
I was just about to say, explain to us to the Monday morning call.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful call where we wake up together, we rise together, literally, metaphorically, emotionally, mentally, every Monday morning at 6 a.m. It's 45 minutes where we show up in our PJs, no makeup, camera on, camera off, it doesn't matter.
Some of us have been up hours.
Yeah. Never been to sleep. And we just tell our ladies to come, whatever feels good for them. And you bring your journal, you bring your hot drink of choice, and we'll guide our ladies through. It's essentially a journaling session, but we're using our self-coaching method, which is our proven method to really harness that power within to get back into the driving seat of your life. It's a 3-step method that we've created over our combined 20 plus years, lived experience, coaching, business experience, to really help the women that come into our world that know they're made for more. They're questioning, is this it? And I know it's not. To move forward, isn't it? And that's what that's what all our members do. But this member in particular, she took these steps and she just fully embodied them and ran with it, didn't she? And then she reflected back, because that's part of our process. One part is to take note. And that to take note is that self-recognition, really kind of seeing and celebrating all that you are doing, because, and I don't want to stereotype here, but as women, we tend to just keep doing, and not actually pausing and realising how much we actually do.
Yeah.
And it's important that we do see that, because otherwise we hit burnout, we hit resentment. So she just reflected back to us, didn't she? Through our, our private community, what she'd achieved. And you can just feel that then, because she's building not only confidence, belief, trust, but she's building a pride within that nobody can take away from her. And that's what part of our process does as well.
I really love that, in terms of that taking and celebrating what you have done almost, and taking away that. It's easy to pick the negatives and say what you've not done. And I think, again, we're kind of something that we're alluding to, that I'm not good enough, or I can't. To actually look back and go, I have actually, and look at the success I've done here and there. I saw your post the other day where the question is this it? And do you know what, that kind of age thing as well, at a certain age, being 41, can I do that? Is that something is this space for me? Is that something that's dominated more by younger people, or do you need to have been more successful in order to do that? I think that's a real skill in itself, and supported by what you're doing to enable people to embrace change, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Just to touch on that, actually, Ross, if I may, for a long time, because I think we both, we know we're both in the "is this it" era.
Yeah.
Sometime
and is that an age thing, do you think, or is that?
I think it is, because I think we do all the big life things.
Yeah.
Maybe we get married, have children, do all the big stuff.
Yeah, and
then
what
what happens is life just then kind of almost just goes off a bit of a, well, not off a cliff, actually.
I'm just really happy. And I'm like,
But it
Dale,
just
kids,
stays.
she doesn't mean you, by the way.
This is what I realised in my journey. I was like, I love, Dale, I love my kids, I love my dogs, but how do I make me happy? And I think what we miss is that as humans, we need to grow and we need to evolve to thrive. And what happens when we've done all those big life things, we're like, that's kind of it.
Yeah, and then I'm 40 odd or whatever it might be, I don't know, whatever age that person might be, and is this what I've got now? Is sort of just happy enough to book a holiday for next year? Is that it? And that's.
We get into that waiting for the holiday, waiting for the weekend,
and then the anxiety that comes with that to make sure it's perfect, and striving for perfection.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's I can relate to it massively, and just thinking a little bit about life and my wife and my circumstances. And again, it's hard not necessarily hard, but I'm trying to touch on it from my perspective. And obviously it's the Authentic Girls Club that we're talking about. But I say to my wife all the time, how lucky are we? How lucky are we? And we've got a sign in the kitchen, actually, not live, life, love, or laugh, or any of that kind of jazz. But she had a nice picture made for me that says, how lucky are we? And I just say it all the time, look around, look what we've got. And there's always someone that would kill to have what you've got. It's all right to strive for better and strive for more. But how lucky are we? Looking back, I think the 20-year-old me to look at me now would be like, wow, you're amazing. I don't feel it right now myself so much all the time, but I think the 20-year-old me would be proud of me. Maybe, I don't know. That's a bit. That sounds like a bit of a cheesy thing to say.
No,
but I'd say that to my wife all the time. How lucky are we?
And that's grounding back in gratitude. And there's science behind gratitude, isn't there? We can always tend to look for what we don't have, what's missing. But actually, if we just have that choice in focus to see all that is around us, all that we've already created, what we're lucky to have, what we can make, and just ground back in gratitude. This
is probably going to be the stupidest question, because
I
know the answer. We're big in manifestation, right? So we believe in it. We're doing it. What are we manifesting currently for the Authentic Girls Club? Because you touched on it, Kat, when you said before the second call with the Carrie Green. Before the second call, make sure Charlotte's in my room. I want to have Charlotte in my room. It probably wasn't called manifestation back then. It seems like it's only a new thing. I've always felt that I'm almost visualizing stuff so far ahead, even to the point of what I might wear at an event and how that event's going to go, and I would see it. And then it would happen. I'm like, I've thought about that already. And it's happened my whole life in stuff I've done. And I can, and again, probably call that manifestation now, or whatever it might be, making stuff happen. You did it before that call. Strange things happen is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
What are we currently manifesting? And talk to me about what you do manifest.
Oh, good question. Well,
That's probably touched on the next magazine. So to write the next magazine article for me if you would.
Yeah. Well, we are on a big mission to get 1,000 women rising.
Oh yeah, we've talked about that. Yeah.
And we see an event. We see an event of 1,000 women in a room, and they're all rising. And what we would love to do is to kind of, well, you kind of thought of that. Do you want to?
I can totally see it.
Imagine that.
I can. And I've
Even if they all stayed together the night before and rose in the morning, like almost like a nighttime summer event. Yeah.
You talk about visualization, Russ, and that is so powerful because if you can not only see it in your mind, which means you can create it and you can make it happen, but you feel it with a. You know, and manifestation, I just want to quickly share what I don't think it is. It's not going, I see a Ferrari on my drive.
Oh, yeah.
And then, a Ferrari is on my drive. It's not that. It's really kind of having a deep reason why, because there's some things that are just nice to haves, but there's some things that are musts.
Yeah.
But it's a deep reason why you want to make something happen.
I am going to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to do that, and I'm doing it because it's bigger than me. It's greater than me.
But actually, that comes from a different place, doesn't it? Because actually, that comes from such an intuitive... I've already seen this happen place. It's not just going, I want this that's outside of me. Like, it's already in there, isn't it? Which is really key, actually. That's just,
Go on, sorry, yeah.
Yes, so the vision is strong. It's that 1,000 women rising, obviously in-person event. So much so, I told you, didn't I? I found a venue in the Midlands.
Oh, really? I was just thinking of a venue as well as someone that we know that would that event would be amazing at.
Actually, yeah. It's already got all the audio visual set up. It's got the stage. I see how the chairs are set out. I see that we're kind of probably finishing the night with a bit of a silent disco kind of vibe. It's like a female empowerment party.
Amazing.
Like the UK's #1 female empowerment party.
You heard it here first.
There we go.
Yeah.
And that is getting 1,000 women in the room. And what we'd love to do with it, as kind of partially shared this with Charlotte. I've just kind of really ran away with this.
You're just about to tell her the new business plan. Yeah.
is have 500 tickets that women buy. And in doing that, they're empowering 500
You're
other
more
women.
by +1.
So exactly. And I'd like to really see that as the next generation. So the youth of today.
That's what the event's called. It's +1, and then the next one's +2. Bring
shout out to
2,
Carrie Green
and the next
as
one's
well.
+3.
Yeah.
See Carrie Green as a speaker, just dropping that.
Yeah, Carrie's been mentioned a lot here. We'll make sure.
And maybe randomly, I keep thinking about Simon Squibb as well.
Oh,
He's a bit of a dude, right?
Yeah,
In
definitely.
terms of getting out of the societal norm, the job, that kind of thing, and actually kind of entrepreneurship. So I'm going off topic.
I did, and that's something that I have in my problem in my psyche, that I thought about something just then to say, and I had to let you finish what you were saying because I was like, I've got an idea. So when we were talking about manifesting it, and you touched on intuition, that was it. You touched on intuition, Charlotte. Do you think that the health choices you've both made, and I've also made with alcohol, and again, not that we're all sat here and would have a glass of wine right now, but what do you think that's helping manifest more? Do you think that's enabling you and was a blocker before? And intuition, I feel far more intuitive, or maybe listening to my intuition maybe than maybe a year ago, when I would have been having a beer. I feel like maybe I wasn't, or I might have had the feeling but just ignored it anyway, or I don't know. Do you feel like
110%?
There's no doubt in my mind on that.
And what's really interesting is I think the reason that I started actually that whole alcohol-free journey was because I was on this roller coaster of emotions, and I was like, I would believe in the Authentic Girls Club one day, and the next day I wouldn't. I'd be like,
why? What's happened?
This? Yeah, and I'd like link it, and I was like, I'm really when you think about 2 drinks, it takes 5 days to recover.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
And then obviously if you have a drink after that, you then think it. So
3 months to get all, if I'm right in saying it, don't quote me, but 3 months to get the whole alcohol out your system from the last one. And it's crazy.
Exactly.
That's why you start feeling better.
And when you kind of look at alcohol, it's taking you away from who you truly are, right? Like, it's not you, is it? Like,
no,
it isn't. People think it enhances you, but it doesn't. It does take you
If you
away.
had to explain it to somebody, I do this, it makes me feel like that. The aftermath, I pay for it. It makes me feel horrendous. It is a weird, weird concept. It sounds like I'm definitely not an advocate of, or I'm not what's the word? I'm not saying going, don't drink. I think that's mad. I think what I'm trying to, or will try and get across, is that give maybe it a go of not drinking and see if what you're searching for is if you can have a couple of drinks and enjoy it and be like, that was great, more power to you. But if you're searching for something that makes you have 3, 4, 5, 6, think I'm better over here, then have a word, because that's exactly how I felt. I felt better in an environment or at a party or at anything if I was 4 or 5 drinks in. And actually, in hindsight, I was a lot worse, which I got told a lot. But just thought, no, that's who I should be. The fun, being an idiot, saying something that maybe I shouldn't say, or definitely I shouldn't say. God, if I wish I'd empowered myself earlier to know, what I could have maybe achieved if I didn't. So, yeah.
And you really kind of highlight a key point there of like, actually, I didn't set out to go sober.
No.
It was that discovery. And I think that's the only bit that I would ever like say to anyone. Like, I would actually say don't set out to be sober, because I think that's so closed door.
Yeah.
And actually...
Would you say never again?
Now I would, but for a while I needed that discovery, and I needed to understand what my relationship with alcohol was. And for me, not drinking was just, drinking was my norm.
Yeah.
And not drinking was a choice.
Okay.
And I wanted to flip that.
I think that's the same with me. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was what I kind of set out with. But it just... I don't know. I think you've got to explore, and we say this, so we're now qualified alcohol-free coaches, which is pretty exciting. Yeah. And you've got to have those slip-ups. You have got to have those slip-ups to understand whether you actually want to do it.
I think when people set themselves that target of a short-term target, 90 days, which I've done in the past, the swing out, the 90-day stop is almost manageable. Yeah. It's the swing back in was massive in terms of, I say massive, it was like, right, I'm going. Because it was all about a holiday with my friends for his 40th. And I was building up to it. And I don't think I can even remember going on the holiday. It's crazy. Because the swing back in, because I was building up to that day. Being here now nearly a year, or a year in a couple of weeks' time. What am I saying? Yeah, I never went, right, I'm going to do a year. It was, I'm going to stop for a little bit, because this kind of feeling's horrible. I feel heavy, non-productive, snappy, not present, blah, 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 blah. And as it started giving me more and giving me more and giving me more, and my pot was filling up, I'm like, forget that. I'm not touching anything, because I feel like it's going to stop. This momentum of this juggernaut I'm sort of pulling along. And if I do something, I feel like it's going to fuck everything up, pardon my language, but I feel like it's going to mess everything up. So it just rolled on. Yeah. And now I'm here, I'm like, nah, I don't want it to mess anything up. I say to Sarah a lot, visualization, manifestation. I see us on a holiday in Italy. We're sat at a table. I can even see what I'm wearing. I've got like a nice white shirt on, and I'm sat there and we're having a glass of wine, and the boys are maybe playing, and I'm going to say, I did it. But do I need to? That's made me go a little bit funny saying that. Do I need to? Maybe not. Will I? Maybe. I don't know. But that's the kind of bit that I can see. It's not yet, but it's maybe one day that I sit there, and maybe when I sell the feed and I sit there and I have a glass of wine one day maybe.
And I think going into the alcohol-free space it's a great way, like you said, Ross, to go into it as an adventure. Like, see it as an adventure. Don't go into it, well, I'm going to be sober now, because I remember I think
that's impossible, isn't it? To say that. I think you set yourself up for failure.
Say, like, well, what are you now, Kat? Well, I don't know.
Do you know one of the amazing things? Sorry, with the alcohol coach, and again interrupting you. Sorry, is the people who go, do you feel better for it? Oh no, I feel for poisoning myself every couple of nights. I feel like absolute shit. I can't believe it's such a big movement. I don't know why people are doing it.
Yeah. No, go into it with an open mind, without any pressure on self. Just, if you kind of just a bit curious, just try it. And what I chuckle at myself for is those slip-ups, which were, the moments where I'm just actually going to dip my toe back in the water. I'm just going to get smashed one more time just to check how shit I feel.
Do you think that's possible? Do you think it's possible to dip your toe back in? And then
I did over. So we're 2.5 years completely alcohol-free now.
Both at the same time?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, amazing.
It didn't start 2.5 years ago. It started
at nearly 9 months before.
But 9 months before. So I had 9 months of this toing and froing.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, I did so many months. I was like, okay. Brilliant.
But I've got a big birthday coming up.
No, it was more of a I can moderate now. Because before I couldn't.
Yeah.
So it's like I can moderate now. So let's try this. I couldn't moderate, but I had to just almost kind of go back in and go, is it that bad? Yes, it is. Come back out again, back out that evidence of why it's such a good thing for me. And then you just personally have the lived experience of, actually, life without it, geez, it's like tenfold.
Putting that into the female space, do you think that's a part that maybe is a bit embarrassing? Like for a guy to sit here and go, I've got a bit of a problem because I can't moderate. Certainly that's where I was. It's never one, and threes, it's like we're going into a different ballpark. Do you think it's harder for a woman to say that? Do you think drinking's more of a male-orientated thing?
Not necessarily, actually.
Because obviously marketed to me and through my Instagram and everything, there's a lot of men that are in that space.
Yeah.
I haven't maybe seen the women's side of it because obviously I'm not looking for it. But
and I think particularly who we work with as alcohol-free performance coaches now, it's what they're called middle lane drinkers.
Right.
So just your average kind of drinker. Like we're not
bottle of wine,
health professionals. So we would signpost somebody. Like we have an audit that they go through first of all,
right,
just to kind of check where you're at in terms of drinking and just kind of get the reality of it. And if it's a certain point, then it would be signposted, more medical advice, because it can become unsafe to come off alcohol.
What's a middle lane? What's that?
Drinking at the weekend, maybe have a couple of glasses of wine during the week.
Right. Okay.
I don't
your average. What you
middle lane, but overtake every now and then, and just
possibly.
Yeah.
But also just not thinking you've got a problem. I wouldn't say I had a problem with alcohol. Okay, I couldn't moderate, but it wasn't taking over my life. It just wasn't
helping you.
It wasn't
definitely.
I just fell out of love with it.
Yeah.
And for me, it was I only had to have one glass of wine. I'd be up in the middle of the night with anxiety.
Yeah. Oh, that became a lot worse for me.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't. Why am I doing that? Why am I drinking and then feeling bad about drinking? And then, it was just this absolute. So it just wasn't working for me anymore. And I think because it's such a norm in our society, it can be really hard to go against the grain with that. But I had to really listen to myself and go, but this isn't working. So what can I do to change it? And I think just to kind of mention on this topic is it's a huge identity shift, because I think you can, we both speak about this a lot. It's a really lonely place because you can feel I remember for me, bank holidays were the worst. Yeah. And when I first
especially
started.
where we live, because it's big, isn't it, in town? And
I feel like I'm literally the only one. And I had to, whenever I felt like the only one, I had to remind myself, I'm not. And I can find a place where there's a lot of people who aren't. But it was actively kind of doing that and putting myself in those spaces. But I think there's a huge identity shift. Alcohol, even though it wasn't a huge, well, no, it was probably a big part of my life, actually, when I look back at it. It was what me and Dale did in the evening. It was what I did at the weekend with friends. But to remove it, life does look different and it feels different. And you've almost got to go on a bit of a self-discovery to understand what you want to do instead. Because, going to the pub now, even sober, I don't mind going for a drink at all. But I don't want to be there all night. Yeah. So it's finding different ways to live again. And actually, we always say, it's like living in HD.
It is. That's a really good point. Yeah. It's and finding being the person that you're comfortable with, and almost who you should really be, and who you are, because the other, authentic self, exactly that. Because the other version, the 10-pint version, or however many it might be, isn't you. Yeah. It's over inflated, over stupid, over everything, caricature of yourself, isn't it, really? Certainly from my perspective as well. That's an interesting lean into when we're saying about lessons learned as well, and obviously where we're at, obviously previous businesses, where you're at with previous life, lessons that we've learned. If we had to pull a younger Kat and Charlotte and give them a lessons learned, obviously stop drinking earlier might be one of them, but what's a big lesson do you think you'd tell your younger self?
I'd tell my younger self that the best relationship I'm ever going to have is the one with myself, and to listen to myself and to stay true to myself, because it's so noisy. And with everything that's around us, telling you who to be, what to do, what path to follow, you can sometimes become so far removed from the person that you are at your core.
100%.
So I just kind of remember what it feels like inside and follow that. And I'd also say a huge lesson I know that we both learned over the course of these, last couple of decades, is that your self-talk matters immensely. The way you talk to yourself, really creates that relationship you have with yourself, and your thoughts. You change your thoughts, you absolutely change your life. I shared this recently. In fact, I think it was on the 4 o'clock podcast as well, actually, that I would say 95% of my self-talk is on point. I've been rewiring my brain for 18 years. So I trained as a life coach 18 years ago, an
Right, okay.
NLP practitioner, and I was my own first client. Like I coached myself. And I know, Charlotte, over the recent years, is like fast-tracked in this, and you've absolutely blown us away. Like you have got your own back, haven't you, fully?
Yeah.
I guess with that in a monologue as well, is there's no one that doesn't do it. So also you can almost look
We
at that
all
and
do
go, yeah, I maybe don't need that support, or I don't. Everyone talks to themselves
do,
because it's
100%.
before you say anything, that's what you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And interestingly, like I used to think I was a really positive person. Like I would be like, yeah, I'm like,
You are, aren't you?
well, yeah, but then, so thinking I was positive to everybody else. But, oh my goodness, in my
Negative
head,
to
a few
yourself,
years ago,
yeah.
it's like putting myself down, like left, right, and
But no one
centre,
can
and
be
I think,
harder on yourself than yourself, though, can they? That's the
but I think it's really amazing to just observe, because I think sometimes like I didn't observe. I didn't even see myself as a real person. This is getting deep right now.
good.
But I didn't see myself as a person at all.
Wow.
Like, and there was a moment where I did a meditation along my journey. It was quite near to the beginning. It asked me to put my hand on my heart. And I was like, I felt it beat. And I was like, why have I never considered my own heart? Never. Like from how long I could remember, I was great at being there for everybody else.
Did you think you just got swept up in just life and just, yeah.
And wanting to,
People
for
pleasing
me,
suit.
being a good person is being
That
there
lent
for
in.
everybody else.
That lent in with the drinking with me, the people pleasing as well, feeling that it needed to be a certain way, the fun one or the last one standing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was a big thing.
Yeah. And like we all, I think when you kind of realise, I'm a person, I've got needs, I've got wants, I've got needs, I've got desires. Like I had this realisation literally the other week, didn't I, where I came out of an event and I was really thirsty, and I hadn't got myself a drink the whole time I've been there. I hadn't been offered one.
Because you
but
felt like
could I
that was a
ask
selfish
for
thing to
one?
do, to go and get
I
a
don't
drink.
know what it was, and I came away and I experienced a bit of sadness because I was like, wow, Charlotte, no longer are we doing this, and this is where this journey never ends, right?
Yeah.
Just caught me out in this moment. Like everybody else was sat down, they were drinking, they were having food, they had a chair. I didn't even have a chair. Not anything on the people who were there.
But just not putting yourself first.
I didn't voice that I needed that. I didn't grab myself that. I didn't say, oh, could I just have a water? I got in the car and I was like, I felt really unwell because I'd like, and so for me, that's been massive to go. And I really surprised myself with that because I thought I'd kind of worked through a good chunk of that. And the way that I was that day, I was like, wow.
And you really surprised me when you rang me and told me that. I was like, Charlotte,
this
that's
is a
not
calling
what I
to
expected.
rise.
Yeah, no, it isn't. And I don't think that's what a lot of people expect, I don't think that maybe that outward image of you that anyone would expect that to be the case, but yeah.
No, I'd keep myself small, keep myself like this, and just
Touching on the lessons,
kept. No more,
Kept.
no longer.
Just reframe
That was a
that.
moment.
touching on the lessons learned, I can 100% relate to the over information or maybe taking too much of that in. I think when I've been asked that question previously, it would be to trust yourself, especially in business. You've got the idea, you can see the vision. And don't listen. Of course, get some mentorship. Of course, get some coaching and listen to people's opinions that you value. But don't take on absolutely everything because there's just way too much out of there. And a lot of it is rubbish, in my opinion, of where you think you need to be and how you should scale so quickly. And I just think there's an absolute, taking on way too much. There's so much out there. That you don't need to maybe take on board.
And it's being mindful of who you share your ideas, dreams, aspirations with. And I've been really mindful of this over the past years because you share it with some people and their response will be a projection of their beliefs.
Yeah.
What's possible for them.
I can
and
relate
all
to
of a
this so
sudden,
much.
You're like, oh.
Yeah.
You just physically shrink. You share it with other people and you're like, yes,
Yeah,
let's go.
and do you know what? They're the people I need around me. So that is exactly...
So who you surround yourself with is really, really
And that's exactly what
important.
happened with the magazine. I remember making a call to a particular person. I was like, magazine's a lot of work. And desktop publisher and designer. I'm like, get out of my way. Like, watch this. I was that, and I think I said to you at the last launch, I was that annoyed by something else that had happened that tried to challenge our business. I was like, I am going to do this. Made the call, met Steph, our designer. She's like, fuck it, I got it. Just stop talking. I've got your back. And then from that day on, obviously, we've been like a house on fire. Our boys are born on the same day. She's a partner of The Feed. It's The Feed mag. Yeah, and it Steph ignited me. But the first call I made to this particular person said, wow, well, hold on a minute, are you sure? And I'm like, no, don't like, you can't put my fire out or whatever that word is. I'm going to do this. So I just need people around me that are going to not tell me yes, that's the wrong thing, but support what.
Of course, it's being realistic. I'm not saying to be delusional here,
No.
are we? But it's just being mindful of who you share those bigger pictures with, those bigger plans with, because some people it'll just be a reflection of their beliefs and their limits.
That's a really good lesson as well. A funny one, or something that may be controversial slightly, maybe. What's an unpopular opinion about maybe the Authentic Girls Club or your space? I guess your space is going to be, there's lots of unpopular opinions, I would imagine, with coaching and sobriety and all these things that we're touching on. But what's an unpopular opinion that we'd maybe like to make more popular?
It was the inner work, isn't it, really?
Or the women putting themselves first.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Good.
We think you should absolutely just put yourself first. It's a no-brainer.
But I think anybody should.
Yeah.
I think anybody should. You've got to be in a good space to be able to help anybody else.
Yeah.
So within a relationship, within life, if you're always at the mercy, that's the wrong word, but if you're always trying to please someone else, you're never going to please anybody. First yourself, and then you can support everybody else. And I think even, sounds awful, sorry Alfie and Raphael, but that even goes for kids. If I'm not in a good
100%.
place, how the hell am I going to be a good dad to you guys?
So I noticed that within myself when I was a stay-at-home mum, and I was getting to that frustrated point because I wasn't listening to what I wanted and what I needed. I wasn't listening to these ideas and kind of taking the action. And I was like, first of all, Dale, bless him, took the brunt.
He's all right.
I've got it all figured out, and I'm just here, and life has stopped.
Yeah.
So he took the brunt of it. But the thing that made me change, love Dale to pieces, bless him, he did do really well to handle that.
No wonder he walks the dog so much.
I
I'm nipping out.
Started to take it out on the girls. I was frustrated, and I observed myself be that. I was like, this is not good enough. And that was for me the shift of going, right, it's me first now, so that I can be the mum that I want to be, the mum that I was when I was happy. But it had to be, kind of owning.
I can relate to that as well. Yeah, I think that again, rewinding myself 12 months. That's where I was. I don't think I was being good enough, and because I wasn't, because I felt bad in myself and needed to make myself feel better. Definitely. So that's I really like that. Have we got anything else for an unpopular opinion?
Well, one thing that we were going to talk about was kind of the inner work, and I think that maybe perceptions of it, that I think that it is opening a can of worms.
Yeah.
Scary,
deep,
uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't need that. I'm all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets to be really exciting.
It does
Yeah.
get to be
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
We believe.
It's quite controversial, but it does get to be really exciting.
And it can be fun. It can be a form of discovery. I do not want to get to the end of my life and
regret.
Regret anything.
And that's that preconception that I mentioned to you before of I feel those things, I can relate, and I'm nowhere near the journey where you guys are, but it's almost like fear of sounding like a dickhead. I said to you before that I didn't want to come out and be like, by the way, I can't believe how empowered I feel. I can't believe that I've got clarity and I feel intuitive and I'm manifesting. All those things that my mates would sit around and go, what? Shut up, you fucking idiot, and let's move on.
And it's only because we're not aware of it.
Totally.
It's not brought into the education system yet. Hopefully.
It's not.
Emotional intelligence.
It's not. What's the word I'm trying to say? Yeah, it's not that it's not mainstream. It's almost slightly not accepted or scoffed at a little bit, as was all the things that we're seeing now that years ago, if we talked about ADHD or if we talked about all these different things, people, oh no, it's just a weird kid. Well, it's not, because of all these other things that can support them. And I completely agree. I think that's something that we touch on with Millie from Stable Minds about the therapy as well. So the brain's a muscle like anything else. Training it, developing it, it's something that we've got to get better at, isn't it? I think it's a British thing as well, being open and wanting to. We don't say anything, do we? Especially,
okay. I'm fine.
Stiff up a lip. Yeah.
And that was an interesting thing from men. I remember we had a launch once that completely flopped, didn't it?
Yeah,
do you remember?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it was
we did this whole thing where it was like basically a member bring a friend to the club. No one took us up on it, and we were like, "What? Why has this happened?" And we kind of sat with it, and we were like, "Oh," and we asked the question, like, kind of what's going on here. They were like, "We just don't want to." Have anybody else in that space. We find it easier to open up to people that we don't know because we feel like we're not putting on people. And
or
that's
being
it.
judged maybe by people that we know.
Being judged, but then also not putting on anybody else. And I think that's the whole but we're not, are we? We just use I'm fine because we're like, no one's got time to listen to my stuff. But
we did this first time we met, and I think we said about it before. I think within a couple of minutes, I'm like, oh, guys, listen to this. And I just opened up, and I knew that necessarily wasn't, I don't know, the space that we should have been talking about that. But within the first few minutes of us meeting, albeit we'd spoke a lot on emails and calls and etc., I think the first time we met, we were there talking about imposter syndrome and all those different things, weren't we? And I think speaking to someone else, I do it with Millie, as I said to you, from Stable Minds, a couple of seconds into a phone call, and she asked me a question, and I'm bawling my heart out and telling her all these things.
It's good to know it's normal, isn't it? And like the thing that stopped me right in the beginning was thinking that as an adult, I shouldn't be scared.
Yeah.
And I was like, that really stopped me thinking, like, nobody else is scared. Everybody else has it figured out.
Everybody's scared.
Everybody's scared.
Part of the process. You've just got to bring it along with you, haven't you?
Yeah, it gets to be our guide. Like, the scary things that I've done have been the best things that I've done.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
It's a green light, fear is. And that's a shift.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
It's not a stop sign, it's a go. It means something. You're gonna grow, it's gonna feel a little bit uncomfortable. But it's the reason to do it.
Yeah, I love that. We touched on this a little bit, and obviously our 1,000 ladies waking up is definitely a goal, whether that's 12 months in the future or further. But what does the future look like for the Authentic Girls Club? What's 3, 6, 12? What have we got immediately? What have we got in the pipeline?
Actually, yeah, within the next 3 months, we're going to be launching something at the end of the summer in the alcohol-free space, actually.
Okay. Which
is everything. We've crafted this to be exactly what we needed when we started on our alcohol-free adventure. It's a space, it's for women, and it's a space where we're going to bring women together so they don't feel isolated, so they don't feel alone, so they can figure out what it is they want, why they want it, and then have that community and support to make it happen. So let's say maybe like a challenge on the alcohol-free side of things.
Exclusive, right, okay, watch this space.
Right now, but do absolutely watch this space if you're curious about that. So that's kind of like the immediate now, isn't it? So that's the end of the summer. What else we got going on?
Yeah, and then... Well, we need to put a date on this big event, don't we, really?
We do.
On the 1,000?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We do need to put a date on it. But I think it's really, for us growing... I think like I said, it's a personal.
Because the following now, as well. The Instagrams we're well over 1,000, aren't we? We're on the Authentic Girls Club's 5 or 6, I think. And what's yours? Is your personal ones are big, so the following's there, isn't it? Almost.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, if we're honest with ourselves, it's taken, and I think this is part of business, right? Finding your voice, finding your message,
which we've talked about, haven't we? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that has been a journey, and I think now we're ready to shout.
Yes.
And
good.
To get out into the media. We're working with some really incredible brands. We've partnered with Hot Tea Mama recently, which is a huge tea brand, which I absolutely love. So collaborations, and really kind of getting into the media in bigger ways.
That's really exciting.
On the cards for us, because we just need to get noisy
and relaunch the podcast, bringing the podcast.
Podcast definitely.
That's on the horizon as well.
And let's get these 1,000 members, and let's get the event somewhere.
Definitely.
Good. Okay, this will be an interesting one. Something I like to do with all our guests. A myth that we'd like to bust. So, all right, we've touched on unpopular opinion, but what would be a myth about either our industry or maybe something in general? Obviously, we've touched on not everyone needs support, everyone's got an inner monologue, but what's a myth we'd like to bust?
One that's just come to me actually is that the myth is that it has to take a long time to change kind of
behaviours,
habits, internal dialogue, self-talk, and transformation, to kind of chunk it up. Sometimes I think people can think it just has to be big, massive.
I don't want to start because I just haven't got time to see it through.
Too much. Or, there we go, haven't got time for it.
Yeah.
That's a myth we'd like to bust.
Guarantee
you've got time for it if you want it enough.
Yeah, you got time to, and flipping back into the not drink, you got time to go for a beer or whatever. You got time to not go for that beer and maybe run or walk or journal or that's
Marie Forleo. She says this quote that if it's important to me, I'll make time for it. If not, I'll make excuses.
Yeah.
So time. We have time. We have time. We are abundant in time. It's just a choice of how we choose to use it.
And it's also, kind of getting resourceful. rather than waiting for the resources.
Yeah.
And I think actually that's that, isn't it? It's going, right, I would do this, or I could do that. Like, you know,
so I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the knowledge, I don't
find a way.
Look at like, what have we got, what can we get resourceful with.
And I remember actually really building, like when I first started the Authentic Girls Club, because I didn't have very much time and I did not have very much money. And I started just with what I could. And I remember I got one incredible lady who I mentored, and, you know, I didn't charge very much, but I just built some incredible experience. We really built an amazing bond over that time. And every time that I got that money from her, obviously got that transformation, got that money, I bought something with the business. And it really, it built my kind of confidence as I was doing it. It built everything as I was doing it. And that was really, really small, but I was just able to like buy my domain name.
Yeah.
I was able to do this, and there was so much more to it. And I just think
that's
what stopped
amazing.
me for a long time was the no money and no time. And I was like, I just slowly but surely proved to myself I do have that.
And that's why it's here the way where it is now. That's exactly right. Yeah, and building on that. Yeah, that's I like that. Good one. Here, that's a bit for.
What's coming?
Yeah. Industry shake-up. So that might not necessarily be your space that you work in, but now we've got hospitality. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
government.
This might sound a little controversial.
Go on.
We would shake, and we've touched on it already. It probably doesn't come as a surprise, but we would shake up the alcohol industry.
Oh yeah, of course.
Something that glorifies what at its core poisons your body and clouds your mind. We would. It's been made so just part of what you do that actually questioning a life without it makes you the odd one out.
Yeah, completely.
And we want to flip
How could you go on holiday without drinking? How have you looked around the airport at 3 a.m. and everyone's bang at it? It's the strangest thing to look at from the outside in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really strange.
So that's what we...
And I think when you see it from that light, you can't unsee it. And I remember thinking that was a curse at one point, because I was like, I actually can't go back now because I can see it in this way. And that does send me this way, but thank goodness.
I remember a few weeks back, we went for a family walk at Trenton. And they've got like a bar, haven't they? They've got a food court halfway through it. And it was, I definitely wasn't past midday. So let's call it 11 o'clock. And there was a gentleman there with his pushchair. He looked like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. And he's pushing this pushchair, and he had a pint on the table. And he either was rough, I think there was a boxing match the night before, so he's either watched that, or I'm writing the story for him in my mind, but I'm like, I am that guy. I need to go and talk to him. I almost felt like I wanted to go, are you all right, mate? Because at Trentham Gardens on a sunny Sunday morning, he's got a pint in front of him, and it's about 11 o'clock. And it might have been that he's earned that pint, he's worked really hard, and he's just having a beer and probably just looks like that because he looks like that. But I don't know. I wrote something in my mind that I'm like, I don't think that's a good pint. I don't think that you're enjoying that. And it's so strange to look at that from the outside looking in. But that industry that we mentioned is obviously very lucrative, isn't it?
Exactly.
So
and I feel like change is on the horizon. Who we've been trained with. Shout out to Andy Ramage. He's absolutely incredible in this field of work. His documentary is out actually in January on Netflix. Is that right? It's a Netflix documentary on an alcohol-free life.
Brilliant.
Which is incredible. And he's the belief that this tidal wave is coming, and I think it is. I don't know how long it's going to be until that happens.
You can already see a massive shift already, can't you? Just with that alcohol zero offering in places. We've just been away to Greece as well. I remember last year there wasn't Mythos. I love Mythos, the beer. This year it's everywhere. Zero. Alcohol free. Yeah. Zero. Yeah.
Nice.
And it just absolutely ticked the box. Frozen glass, Mythos, no difference. Fine for me. So I think you've already seen a massive shift, haven't we? And the fact that we're sat here now talking about it, I think is a big shift. So God knows what the next year or two is going to bring.
So shake that up.
I like that. Let's get to the last question before we wrap this up. What would be your pet hate in business or otherwise right now? What pet hate would we touch on? I think we've actually maybe looked at certain parts of this. We've said about you haven't got the time. But is there something that goes on in the space at the moment that you maybe think there's a pet hate?
I don't know if it's a pet hate, but maybe just to highlight the importance of connection and deep connection. And I feel like you do this incredibly well. I feel like you build such amazing connections. And I think we're in a world that really wants connection.
Yeah.
but there's this layer of vulnerability that's needed and openness that's needed, and it's just a decision to be there and kind of go that extra level with people. And I think so many people want that, but I don't know, there's just this blocker sometimes, and it's a bit surface level.
Yeah.
And yeah, connection is everything, right? And collaborating and just seeing what can happen. And yeah, I think you do it amazingly.
There we go. I think on that note, yeah.
That's a wrap.
Boost up for you.
Something that I was just going to touch on before we do wrap up is maybe the space that you're in is the overexploitation of maybe vulnerability. So I think maybe the ones that might, there's stuff out there that I don't know, maybe haven't got what I feel that you guys have got and that I've experienced myself is the reason why we support you for the Feed Mag and events and all the rest of it, is that the authenticity, the Authentic Girls Club. I feel like there's stuff out there that are options that seem less, authentic in their intentions. I'm trying to really be diplomatic with my words, but I feel like there's probably opportunities out there to just monetize a movement rather than offer genuine support. So I think if I was to look at that industry and think of my pet hate, it would be some of the coaching and things that are out there that are like, well, how have you got that experience to tell me that? Why are you in that place to try and talk to me about this and that, everything that we've built on or talked about from the Authentic Girls Club side of things, like, because they've lived it, because they've done it and had businesses and they've felt really low and why am I doing this? And I think that authenticity, not to keep saying it, but I think that's what comes through for me.
Thank you, Ross. And just may I quickly add to that, and I think is what's really important, something that we do, is we don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk.
With
and I think that's really important with our members, but we actually do the work. And I think that like to remain kind of not too diplomatic, but there's spaces where probably telling you what to do, but not actually doing it themselves.
Massively. That's big in my industry. Do you know what you should do to scale? Get more business. Fucking thanks for that.
So it's looking, if you're looking to work with somebody, it's look at are they actually doing it?
Yeah.
Are they actually living it? Because we embody it, and the reason we can do what we do with the passion and drive that we've got, and so successfully, like the women in our world are getting transformations, is because it's through lived experience. We've been where our women are.
Yeah.
And we know how to get them to a better place. Well, they do all the work. We're just guiding them and coaching them to it, but we keep doing it. We don't just stop. Growth is continual. So that's, I think, just to blow our own trumpet. We talk and walk the walk.
On that note then, to wrap it up really nicely, what would be the call to action? What is the ladies of no age, I guess, come and join us. Go on, tell everyone who you want and why they should join the Authentic Girls Club.
Well, you can come and join us on a Monday morning and experience the shift. And what we can do is drop a free pass in if that's doable and come and see what it's like. We always say, like, you've got to feel that space. And if it's uncomfortable, feel it even more.
Okay.
Honestly, we show up with no makeup on, in our pajamas. Like, authentic is the word. Like, we're just here to feel better and to live better. And if you want to do that with a group of women who are ready and cannot wait to support you, then we are there.
And I guess I bet you don't get many that try it and then don't come back. It's like, that was amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You'll have your best week yet.
Guaranteed.
Great. Yeah.
Kat, Charlotte, Authentic Girls Club, Feed Pod. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Job's
Ross.
done.
Thank you.